want to review some best practices in encouraging good communication. The first focus of the project manager in managing the resources has to do with the team. You need to work to maintain a shared vision and understanding of the project. This is especially true in longer-term projects. Sometimes we can lose sight of the overall goal, and instead we focus on our function. It is important that the team see their position within the project and understand how their work not only contributes to the work of the project, but the overall objectives and goals of the company. We, as people, typically like feeling that we are part of advancing the corporate agenda. By helping people see how their contribution fits into the whole, they will typically stay more motivated and engaged in their work. They need to see how their work makes a difference. So focusing on communicating the vision of the project will help. Now, this may be more difficult depending on the type of project you are engaged in. For instance, if you are working on a project sending a person into space, it is easy to see how someone could get caught up in that type of vision. It may be a bit more difficult to create excitement about a seemingly more mundane office project. However, if you do a good job of connecting your project to the bigger picture, then you might be surprised at how engaged your team members will become. A second part of managing the resources is the need to evaluate performance, so working to complete project performance appraisals. Here again, we are primarily talking about the project team. Your team members have been given a role within the project. They've been assigned certain tasks. The overall success of the project depends upon the individual contributions of the project team. They, as well as yourself for that matter, need to be held accountable for how they are doing their job. It is best, in my opinion, to set periodic reviews at the beginning of the project that team members know about and expect. This sets a very clear situation. Now, your ability to do this and to use this really depends upon the organization you work within. Some organizations give project managers a greater amount of authority. If you don't have that sort of authority, it's still a good idea to perform some type of review to document the performance of team members. A third role you'll be playing is that of mediator and negotiator. The team members will most likely bring their complaints and problems to you. In these instances, it is wise to remember an ancient proverb: the first to speak seems right until the second one speaks. There are always two sides to a story, and only a fool pronounces a judgment without hearing the other side. So be willing to hear, but also be sure to hear the other side before making a rash decision made on one-sided information. The fourth item I want to mention has to do with managing resources, such as equipment, tools, and the like. Most likely, certain assets of the corporation are put within your control. You, as the project manager, are responsible to manage them. Therefore, you need to have some means of monitoring the usage of these assets placed within your stewardship. Be sure you know the company's policies on these types of items and communicate those policies clearly to your team. For instance, a company vehicle should most likely not be used on the weekend for personal business, or a corporate expense account shouldn't be used in an unauthorized manner. You need to bring a strong personal ethic to bear when making these sorts of judgment calls. What we have discussed is not an exhaustive list of ways to manage a project team. There are many day-to-day activities that you are likely already doing on your projects, and you may find more to add to the list.